Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Yeah. And speaking of there needing to be activism right now, there's an Iowa bill that would require "In God We Trust" display 2 minutes of 2 minutes of silence in public schools. Not the first time something like this has happened, but this time, the way the judicial branch is arranged, it has a much better chance of actually sticking around. Although, need to get some Chaz Stevens action in there, because one of the questions is how are schools going to pay for it? Like, Chaz will donate some signs.
I am very tired that we are back at the bare knuckle brawling with creationism shit again on the legal level.
Laughing is what separates us from the Vulcans and the Romulans.
Yeah.
Indeed it is. And our blood is red. Yeah. So basically, Iowa public schools are being required to display "In God We Trust" at the main entry of school buildings under a bill advanced from the Iowa House. The bill would require public schools and charter schools to display the national motto and Iowa state motto, which ironically doesn't really get along well with the national motto because it is "Our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain." So, like, the right to separation of church and state, that's not maintained when you have "In God We Trust" written above that. And then it also would require the observation of 2 minutes of silence each day preceding the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance, which just sounds like a waste of fucking time.
It does. Granted, though, I will say this: the moment of silence is one of the things that was proposed several times by atheist organizations as, like, if you want to have quote prayer in schools, this is an appropriate way to do it.
I know, and I actually have mixed feelings about the moment of silence. So I actually kind of like the idea. It probably shouldn't be at the beginning of the day, but like at some point in the day, and I would even go past 2 minutes. I'd say 15 minutes. There's 15 minutes of everybody has to be silent. Now, I could actually get behind that because, like, yeah, sure, the kids who want to use that time to pray, sure, they can pray. Kids who want to meditate, they can do that without being made fun of by the Christian kids who are like meditations of Satan. Is like hippie woo nonsense. We don't do that in our Christian thing or whatever. No, they're just sitting there with their eyes closed. They're meditating. But for all they know, they're praying because it's just 15 minutes of silence. Everybody has to do it. So I actually kind of like that and would probably take it further. However, logistically speaking, we're talking about school children, kindergarten to high school. 2 minutes of silence is going to be challenging. 15 ain't happening. Bring back nap time.
Yes, bring back nap time.
Yep. Also make the school day start later, because that's objectively better for everybody. Democrats on the committee raised questions about the cost to schools of making the designs or displaying the national and state mottos. They also questioned why private schools, including those with students who receive taxpayer-funded education savings accounts, aren't included in the bill's requirements. So, yeah, that is an interesting omission, especially because, like, most private schools are probably Christian. But they say if this is so important, if this is something that our students, our kids need to see, then it should be something that is in front of every student. So, like, yeah, I don't understand why that omission was there. Like, usually this is something that they'll start with the charter schools and private schools and try and make it get closer and closer to the public schools, but they kind of went backwards this time.
The idea of private schooling confuses me more and more the further I get away from my time in PCA, because it feels like the only reason you do private school is because you don't believe that the schools in the area are teaching the truth good enough that that
Yep.
the kids are being taught. And so you're willing to pay a premium for the real truth to be taught to your kids. Maybe that's me coming off the back end of PCA, but that's where my brain goes where that's concerned.
Yeah, no, I have a similar feeling about it, having gone to a private school myself. That's not the reason I was sent there. I was actually sent there because the kids that were going to end up going to high school with me were mostly bullies, and so I was having big issues with that. And so the private school was kind of a let's get him away from that situation. But the only private school in the area was a Christian school. Um, Looking back, I kind of wish that I had gone to the public school because like my brother and sister both went there. They had a shop class. I would have loved to have had a shop class where you actually learn how to build shit and use power tools.
Mhm.
Like I've been like DIYing it in the years since, but like I feel like I would have enjoyed that. But we didn't have that at the Christian school I went to, and there's other stuff like that. But yeah. But anyway, in defense of this legislation, one of the people that was behind the bill said, "I think we want to make the public school as attractive as possible for families who might be exploring their choices." It's like, and you don't do that by proclaiming your allegiance to one specific god that the people exploring their choices might not also have allegiance to.
Yeah, you're
So like
just assuming that
that is
everybody who's exploring their choices is Christian.
yeah, that doesn't make it attractive to the atheist parents. That doesn't make it attractive to the Muslim parents because they know that when you say in God we trust, that doesn't mean their God. That doesn't make it attractive to the Hindu student who has multiple gods. Like, no, that's not about making it attractive to more families. That's about making it exclusive to Christian families.
Which is very mechanically different.
Mm-hmm. Um, so one of the freshmen who attends public schools in the area says they believe requiring the national motto in schools promotes Christianity and amounts to forced patriotism. He said,
Yeah,
I'm a proud public school student and I do not trust in God, and that's okay. In fact, the Constitution protects my right to not trust in God. Displaying in God we trust in public school buildings is a blatant promotion of religiosity and indoctrination of children. Agree, 100%. Congrats on this kid who is a freshman. What grade is freshman?
freshman is ninth grade.
Okay. That's what I thought. But then there's also weird things like junior isn't one of the low, like junior is like 11 or something.
Yeah, junior is grade 11.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Yeah, sophomore. I don't know. That's not, we don't call them that in Canada. We just call them 9, 10, 11, 12.
Eh,
Fennec, are you finger snapping to do woke clapping? Are you woke clapping for this student? If you are, I appreciate that.
what is woke clapping?
Just when you do, it's like finger snaps, like the hippies do it with their
Oh,
little. Thing. In some situations, that is actually better because, like, if you're in a room full of people with PTSD, that loud noises are going to scare them. Like, yeah, finger snaps instead of claps. That's fine. I get it. But
also,
people
who
do make fun of
hollering and
that.
cheering makes me want to cry sometimes. Not like actually cry, but like my ears suddenly go, "Huh, that's all pain. Stop."
Yeah, especially if it's directed at me. Like, no, fuck off. Don't do that. I don't need that. Okay. Then Representative Helena Hayes disagreed with the criticism because when a student that would be directly affected by this says their feelings about it, clearly a politician knows better. But to have it displayed on your property in a state school that is funded by the state of Iowa is not really forced patriotism, she said. I think it's just really basic. Really basic forced patriotism. I think the Pledge of Allegiance is forced patriotism.
It is.
It's weird to have a bunch of
I
children pledge allegiance to a piece of cloth at the front of the classroom every day.
I think that a country should earn the respect from the kids,
Mm-hmm.
not the kids should. This is gonna sound so fucking atheist of me. I am so sorry, but I feel as though if a country is so great, its greatness should be self-evident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you shouldn't need to indoctrinate people into it by having them chant about how great it is, great their flag is every day. Then when questioning the moment of silence, people are like, is that intended to be a prayer? Is that intended to just put your heads down, take a nap? Is that what is silent time? And it's like, I'm actually okay with the moment of silence. It's weird that it's before the Pledge of Allegiance, but like I said, I think the Pledge of Allegiance is weird. Fun fact, originally, when the Pledge of Allegiance first became a thing that school children did, they were supposed to, instead of just having their hand over their heart, they were supposed to do it while doing the Bellamy salute. Guess what the Bellamy salute is?
Hmm. I
My heart goes out to you if you don't know.
Oh my God.
Just do a Google search for kids doing the Bellamy salute, and you'll find that they were doing it in schools in the 1940s.
Yeah, when the United States had a brown shirts movement.
Yeah, when they should have known better. And like at that point, it's like, yeah, no, I don't care that it was a Bellamy thing and not a Hitler thing, but it's a Hitler thing now. He kind of ruined that. Also, Bellamy, if you look up the guy Bellamy that the Bellamy salute is named after, he probably would have agreed with Hitler. So
I mean, that's why the character Bellamy in One Piece is kind of a piece of shit.
Okay, yep, there you go. So
he's definitely on board with the fascism as long as it's benefits him.
Sponsored by Henry Ford. Yeah, so the this is really weird for me because I'm finding myself agreeing with people like Ryan Ben, the lobbyist for the conservative Christian group The Family Leader, who said the silent time would be valuable to calm students and give them an opportunity for prayer. As a parent in a household with 5 kids, I appreciate how I appreciate where that thought would come from. I would love for there to just be 2 minutes of silence in the morning when we're trying to get ready. Let's just sit down and shut up for 2 goddamn minutes. That would be beautiful. I would love it. I totally get it. But at the same time, like, they're clearly just being like, yeah, no, this is supposed to be for prayer, but like, we can't make it for prayer. So it's just a moment of silence.
We gave in to the woke sky.
But then when you get to talking to people that like actually deal with children, they say things like, it's hard enough to engage sleepy high school students when they arrive at school early in the morning. It's like, it's hard enough to engage them without like putting them to sleep first. And then
Mario says Cirrus doesn't know his character change in Dressrosa. Well, thanks for spoiling that Bellamy has a character change in Dressrosa. I'm glad to know he changes. Didn't want to know that he changed, but
But Melissa Peterson, someone who actually works with kids and works for the teachers union, says keeping young children silent for 2 minutes is tougher than it sounds. The association opposes the bill. It's like,
what?
Yeah. Speaking as someone who wants the kids to be quiet for 2 minutes, yeah, that ain't happening. And it says, I will say that my member's initial reaction was, we're going to keep them completely silent for 2 minutes? How are we going to do that? She said. Without stimulation, that can be really challenging, even above the kindergarten level. Yeah,